Hi, everyone. I'm Anne-Marie Green.
And I'm Vladimir GT. Thanks so much for joining us. Another town in America is mourning the victims of a school shooting. This time, it's a small community in Kentucky where two 15-year-old students were shot and killed by a fellow classmate at their high school. Dozens of people gathered at a church vigil last night in Benton to honor those injured and killed at Marshall County High School yesterday. It was the nation's 11th school shooting of 2018. And we're only a few days into January.
Bailey Holt and Preston Cope died from gunshot wounds yesterday. Another 14 students were shot and 4 others were injured in the chaos. The 15-year-old shooter is now in custody. Adriana Diaz is in Benton with the community's response to the attack.
It still doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like it actually happened.
Moments after arriving at school, teenagers were scrambling for cover as their fellow student began shooting.
It sounded like there was a fight. Someone was hitting on the window. I took out my headphones and turned around, and everyone was just broken up.
The school immediately went into lockdown, but some students had already fled the grounds.
I took off. I started running. I was just scared for my life.
One student went back inside to rescue her friend, who was unharmed.
She's my best friend. I mean, I can't lose her. And so we got her and we left.
5 shots fired, 4 down at the high school at Marshall.
Police arrived to the school just 7 minutes after the first 911 call. They quickly found the gunman and arrested him.
He was apprehended by the sheriff's department here on site at the school, thankfully before any more lives could be taken. There's no way to know how much farther it would have went.
Buses evacuated uninjured students to a nearby middle school. Frantic parents raced to the chaotic scene, hoping to find their children.
You don't think it's going to happen here, and like I said, as soon as you hear it, it's terrifying.
5 of the victims were airlifted to Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville. Preston Ryan Cope died at the hospital. Bailey Nicole Holt was killed at the scene. They were both 15. Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin.
And this is a wound that is going to take a long time to heal. And for some in this community will never fully heal.
Students say they'll have trouble returning to the school where their friends were killed.
There will still be some fear. Like, I can never look at the school the same because I know, what happened.
Adriana Diaz joins us now from Benton, Kentucky. Adriana, it's something that we said at the top of this broadcast. This is the 11th school shooting in this country. It's only January 23rd. What can you tell us about this community and the mood there this morning?
Well, Vlad, this is a tight-knit community, and we were told that this is something where everyone knows someone who was involved. This is a large school, 1,400 students roughly, so many people in this community have kids that go to school here, have siblings that go to school here, so the community is still shocked. Tristan, that student you just heard from, he said that he and his friends haven't slept. They're all still trying to process what's going on. And he said that it's hard even to be here. When he was here for that interview, he said it was uncomfortable to be so close to the scene of the crime. Other students, he said, share those same sentiments, but he said this is a tight community. Everyone will come together to get through this.
In terms of the victims, how many of them are still in the hospital, and do we know how severe their injuries are?
There are 5 students who are still at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. That's in Nashville, about 100 miles away from here. 4 of those students were airlifted yesterday. 1 arrived last night driving. 2 of those students have gunshot wounds to the head, but the hospital does say they expect everyone to survive. Unfortunately, yesterday, one of the students who had a gunshot wound to the head, originally it was 3, he passed away. He is a 15-year-old boy. Another 15-year-old girl died here at the school behind me, and students just describe really just a stampede of at least 1,000 students rushing out of the school. They actually have drills for this kind of thing. So sadly, they were prepared in some way because they've done drills where they have to lock the door in their classrooms, turn off the lights. But because this happened before classes and everybody was in the common area mingling around before school started, they were off guard, not prepared, not in the positions where they thought they would be when something like this happened. So their only reaction was just to run. And a student told us people didn't know where to go, where to hide, who it was, where that person was. So there was just sheer panic here.
Adriana, we understand that a court attorney says that the suspect is going to be charged within the next 48 hours, and they plan to charge him as an adult. Any information that you've been able to learn about the suspect?
We have very little information from the suspect. Both the police and some students we've spoken to have been really hesitant to provide information. There is concern about doing something that could harm the investigation. What we do know is that he is 15 years old. He goes to school here. One student told us he is part of the band. And a friend of that student said that apparently, according to this friend, the shooter went first to the band room to see if his friends who were in band were still there and were okay before the shooting actually took place. Now, this is something that we heard from a student that we spoke to who was told that information from a friend. But that's really all we know right now about this suspect.
Adriana Diaz in Benton, Kentucky. Thank you so much, Adriana.